Welcome. Welcome. Dave, I appreciate those words this morning, man. Yeah, definitely put a lot into it, right? I can definitely sleep at night knowing that I try my best for the community. So thank you for those words of encouragement. Appreciate that. Morning, everyone. All right. Jay Price, how's it going? Chef? So today, yeah, I think we're sitting. I think we're waiting. All right, I think I'm starting to feel like that's what the market's doing, just waiting for some of this economic data. Yesterday, I think we saw a little bit of that. Pretty slow day. A little bit up, a little bit down. Some opportunities intraday, but overall, when you zoom out, the overall market's just still sort of in a trend. Or still in a channel. So we're really not getting much, but we'll get through sort of what happened yesterday, get a good feel for it. I'm just looking at the economic data right now. Today, I don't think you get much of a move on the data today. I think tomorrow is probably the big one. You got Jerome Powell speaking. You got GDPs. You got ADP employment reports, job openings, job quits. So I'm thinking tomorrow is where you finally see a decent move here. And then even on Thursday, you're backed up into some even more economic data. So today, again, I don't think you're going to see much today. I mean, we'll see. We'll see what the intraday looks like. But I think it's all about what's going to happen here Wednesday, Thursday. That's my gut right now. Wednesday, Thursday. And then even next week, you're really light on the economic data. So that sort of even makes me think even more that it's all going to be about tomorrow and Thursday. But we'll go through this all. Just initial thoughts. Jay Price, thank you, my friend. Thank you, my friend. As always, the support is very much appreciated. Right after I crawled in bed last night, Mark. Yeah, I mean we had a nice consistent sort of pressure to the downside type of day for sure. All right, we saw some of that downside pressure. There was really no upside relief yesterday. But I'll show you guys the futures levels. They really are still intact to what we looked at yesterday. So we just sort of got another move within that channel, sort of an inside day. All right. So, good morning, everyone. Once again, thanks for being here. Hope you guys had a good trading day yesterday. I had a okay day. I had, I think it was about $400 gain. I mean, it was really light. I took some, I'll go ahead and pull it up. I closed my Home Depot swing trade. That's one update. I closed that upside swing trade just because I saw that rejection coming in on Home Depot. Congrats if you guys caught that. We talked about that rejection on Home Depot. It looks pretty tough up there. So I decided to ditch that. I think it's time that's done with. Yesterday I took some Amazon, took some Nvidia short-term scalps, and then also I added to my Enphase puts. I added to my Enphase put options. I really like this Enphase setup for like a longer-term hold, a longer-term downside play. I'll share it with you guys again. On top of that, I don't know if you guys saw this, big news. Jim Cramer said that he said that Enphase is a buy. I don't understand how Enphase. I mean, I get it. Enphase is strong and it has been strong. I guess Jim's just hoping that we break out here. But if Cramer said that to buy, then I'm going short. That's the running joke on the market, right? But yeah, so I added to some Enphase puts, looking for that double top to work out. We'll see, guys. I mean, Enphase could still have a little bit of zombie strength up here. Enphase could break out. That solar sector could continue to be strong as it has been, but I'm betting on it. I'm betting on it to not continue. I think Enphase is one of the most overvalued stocks in the market right now. But I could be totally wrong. But that's what I did. I just sharing with you what I did yesterday. Added to Enphase, added to a Tesla position, and then took a few short-term scalps. Nothing exciting for me yesterday. All right. Do the opposite of what Cramer said. Yeah, there was inside selling on Enphase as well. I did see that. I'm not really big on trading insider selling, but because most of the time insider selling is scheduled, guys, for the most part. When CEOs sell shares, it's almost always already going to be like, it's already announced. People already know when that's coming. They have to report when they are going to sell. It's part of their payment plan too. So if you guys are familiar with how like C-suite, people, C-suite is like the upper management. Part of their payment plan is to, sell off shares as they continue to work there, right? That's part of their incentive package. So I don't really, I mean, maybe that helps the stock move lower in the short term. But this was a free market non-derivative. Okay. So he wasn't exercising an option or something. Yeah, I mean, Theta, that could be it. I mean, I'm just sort of guessing here. If that wasn't a already like announced sell, then maybe that is interesting to watch out for. But, interesting. Anyways, let's continue. So today's the 29th. It's almost December, guys. It's almost that time of the year. December is my favorite month of the year. It's my birthday, the 22nd. It's just a different vibe in the air in December for me personally. So I'm excited to end this year strong. I'm excited to end the year. Hopefully you guys are doing well. And let's do it. So futures, economic earnings calendar, as always, big economic calendar this week. This is like the main watch here, guys, the economic calendar. I think a lot of people are watching this, and the market is awaiting it. So here we go. So today, we did get Bullard speaking yesterday. You guys did see that reaction to Bullard. I don't know if you guys were watching the market around that time, but Bullard did cause a little bit of a market panic short term. It did get bought back up and then sort of slipped lower. But Bullard said how, people are they're not taking the possibility of more rate hikes seriously. That's sort of what he's saying. So Bullard said that yesterday, was a little bit hawkish yesterday, and we saw a little bit of reaction there. Today, U.S. home price index at 9 o'clock, and then consumer confidence index at 10. I don't expect too much here. I do expect some movement tomorrow. So you have a lot of stuff tomorrow. You have ADP employment report. That's pretty important. Does that come in lower once again, or does it come in higher? Previously, it came in lower. The previous was 239. The forecast is for it to drop. So in this scenario, right, if the employment report comes in higher than the anticipated, I would take that as a bearish signal. If we come in higher than 190, or even if we come in higher than previous, then that is bearish. So we'll keep an eye on that. Real GDP, let's keep an eye on that one. That's at 830. That's big. Chicago PMI. We have job openings and job quits. This is very important as well. That jobs market is people are very focused on the jobs market. Pending home sales, some Fed presidents, and you have Fed Chair Jerome Powell speaking at the Brookings Institution. I need to look a little bit more into what exactly he's going to talk about here. I'm going to assume it's nothing new, but maybe we'll hear if there's any type of change in rhetoric or change in his tone here. Then maybe the market reacts. But as you guys know, every time Jerome Powell opens his mouth, like I said before, the market can react. So we need to watch out for that at 1:30 tomorrow. All right. Thursday, jobless claims, PCE price index, real disposable income, consumer spending, manufacturing index, construction spending, a lot of stuff. So I think tomorrow and Thursday are going to be the days where we actually get a move on this market. Just watch out for that. Nothing really on the earnings. I think we had, actually, you know what? There is a big earnings, and it was UNH, I believe. Did UNH report yesterday? Did I miss that yesterday? I don't know why. Hold on a second here. No, UNH didn't report yesterday, did they? They guided. Did they send out a guidance revision? Okay, they announced some guidance revisions yesterday, UNH. That happened after hours yesterday, I believe. They saw EPS adjusted. So their guidance was actually higher than anticipated here. It says revenue $357 billion versus $352 billion estimate. So that's sort of good, right? That's an increase in their guidance on the revenue side. Unit shares trading lower. The company issues forward year 2022, forward year 2023 guidance. The midpoint of the EPS guidance for both periods is below consensus. So EPS was below consensus. So keep an eye on this UNH here, because UNH, guys, is a huge part of the Dow, right? So whatever happens on UNH is going to affect the Dow Jones. You can see we sold off after hours yesterday, but we were pretty much back to where we were at close. So nothing really happened there on UNH. But that was something that happened there yesterday after hours. All right. So besides that, I really don't see much importance here on the earnings calendar. You got CrowdStrike today after hours. That's really not going to do much except through the individual stocks. Snowflake, Salesforce. I don't think that really moves the market. And maybe they'll show their own names. Move their own stock. Ulta. that's probably a decent sized one to watch out for. But other than that, nothing really major, in my opinion, for the earnings calendar. Okay. All right, guys. So Tesla outperformance. I'm going to pull up Tesla today. We're going to look at Tesla. Tesla has shown a little bit of strength over the last few days. Tesla definitely showed strength yesterday before rejecting a 188.50 level. So let's keep an eye on Tesla here. It's definitely showing some outperformance. I want to be focused on that. Apple held on to a key level yesterday, but barely. It's like holding on for its life, or as Gold Sauce likes to say, it's 4th and 1. For Apple, I think it is 4th and 1. There's a big level that it needs to hold, and we need to watch this level. Shopify had a nice morning yesterday, but we talked about it yesterday. I don't believe Shopify could hold up that move if the market was weak, and that is pretty much exactly what happened. We said how, yes, Shopify's up off Black Friday sales, but if the market's weak, how does Shopify hold up in that environment? And we saw some nice downside on Shop. Congrats to you guys in the chat that caught this. We traded this live yesterday. I caught it very small piece, but it was a very nice trade setup. Home Depot, we'll take a look at that. I'll talk to you why I sold my swing trade, why I got out of that position for a nice profit. Starting to see some rejections come in. Nvidia, AMD, we'll talk about Enphase, and then we'll talk about Netflix. All right. I don't really think this would be considered a sell-off, guys. It's probably just a volatility candle. I mean, it's just an intraday or pre-market move. Nothing crazy. All right, let's get started. Let's do it. Hopefully you guys are having a good morning. Thanks for being here with me today. And let's take a look at this market. So the NASDAQ, I think you got, two major levels to really watch here. It's a little bit messy on the left side of this screen. You guys can see it's really not anything big here, right? Or anything clean. It's a little bit choppy at these previous highs. But what has shown, something that is clean is the previous holds of demand. And that makes it easy to sort of read here, right? So right here, let me delete this. Let me delete that. Nope, I didn't want to delete that. I want to delete that red arrow there. There we go. Really what I'm focused on more than anything is the hourly chart, and it's these two lows here from the previous week. You guys can see right here. This is what I'm focused on more than anything on the NASDAQ. It's right here at 11,530. All right, we can clearly see the wicks that were sort of created here at 530, right? We had a move back down on Thursday. This is Thursday the 17th. Moved lower, popped off of it right here. Tuesday of last week, moved lower, popped off of it. So it's pretty damn clear, right? If the NASDAQ breaks this level, right, there's going to be a momentum shift to the downside. If the NASDAQ breaks this little double bottom and we start to break down under this 11,530, that is that's your sign that things could start to get weak. So we have to watch that. That's the first thing to be focused on. 11,530 must hold level for the bulls. If you break that, bearish momentum likely comes in. Now, my only thought here is that you do have the 20 SMA below. How strong does that 20 SMA? Let's say the NASDAQ does flush under this 530. Does it hold the 20 SMA? Right? That's a big question mark to me. So that's something that I'm going to be watching as well. If we do break the 530, what does the 20 SMA have to say down here around 11,475? So on the downside, 11,530, 11,475, 20 SMA, big levels to watch. And then when you look to the upside, it's really just the 100 SMA and around this 11,900, 12,000 area. So basically, since CPI, which was the 10th of November, so about 20 days, 20 weekdays, trading days, it's, I don't know, something around there, 15, 16, something like that. You've done nothing, right? You've done absolutely nothing. You've traded sideways since the 10th of November. You've gone up, you've gone down, you've gone up, you've gone down, and basically this means nothing. So until we break either side of this channel, I don't think you get a major move on the market. Until we get a catalyst, I don't think you get a major move on the market. And that catalyst could be tomorrow, right? The catalyst could be tomorrow for whether we break this level or whether we push off demand again to the highs. So that's really what I'm waiting on. I think it's the smart thing to wait on that. I don't think you mess around in this area. There is obviously some intraday trades to be had, right? There was some nice upside here last week. There was some nice downside here early, Monday and Friday into the weekend. But it's not. It's nothing that it's nothing like you're missing out on a big move in the market. When you zoom out, you can see overall it's still a very distinct channel. So watch the channel 11,530. 12,070 up there. See that 120 SMAs here. Keep an eye on those as well. But overall, you're stuck in a channel. All right. ES. Here's the 4-hour on the ES. This one's a little bit more clear and more, concise about where this market needs to hold on to. So if I zoom in here, let's go ahead and do a quick analysis on the ES here. So the first thing is these lows around 39.25, 39.30. What is down here? Well, you can see very clearly that there is a previous double top rejection point. There is a support level. And on top of all of that, there is a 100 SMA and a 20 SMA that are sitting right here. So if the market breaks below this previous support, breaks back below this double top rejection, breaks below the 100 SMA, and breaks below the 20 SMA, you guys already know that there is going to be a downside move, and probably an aggressive one, if you break this level here. All right, so this is like your seesaw. The middle of your seesaw is right here at around 39.20, 39.25. It is very distinct here at this area. 20 SMA, 100 SMA, previous support, and a previous double top rejection. You have to watch this area down here. If you start to break this area, you should know, what the next move is. That is a flush level. So before that, we're starting to hold up around this 39.70 level. Now, if we go into the hourly chart, we can see this 39.70 was last Monday's highs. So you guys can see right here, we had some last Monday's highs. Right here, you had all these rejections on last Monday. This is Monday the 21st, and this is where you broke out of. All right, you got that break out of that level last Monday. Now, you came back exactly to that level yesterday, and you found support. You came back to that level right here in the pre-market, and you're finding some support off of it. So 39.70, right? That's the short-term level to watch. If you get below 39.70 today, I would expect the move down towards this low. If you get the break of 39.70 here, I would expect the move down towards either this 39.40, which is the lows all right in here. You guys can see all these lows that were built right here from the previous week. You have previous support here, previous support here, previous support here, and previous support here. If you break the 39.70, I would expect a move either to the 39.40 here, or if we get really weak, down to the 39.25, 39.20, the channel low. Okay? That's the first thing to watch here. Now, to the upside, you guys can clearly see why we're finding a rejection. If I go to the 4-hour chart, you have two things that are working against you on the upside. You have both the 200 SMA, which is a very crucial level to be watching on this market, and you have that long-term downtrend that's going across my screen. That long-term downtrend is the daily downtrend since the beginning of the year. Right? So you have the daily downtrend since the beginning of the year, and you have the 200 SMA, that red dotted line here, that is all stacking up. Right there. Right? So, 200 SMA, daily chart downtrend, heavy up here. This whole area is going to be very heavy. Right? It's going to be hard to get through this whole zone up here. So that's why I believe you're starting to see some weakness come in. You're sort of channeling, right? If you zoom out, the ES has been doing nothing but go sideways. Overall, a little bit of up, a little bit of down. Overall channel is still there. We have to wait for tomorrow, in my opinion, to get that real move. But for now, in the short term, right, 39.70, that's the level to watch in the short term. Do we hold 39.70? Previous rejection point, you break out, you come back down to it, and now you're finding some type of support here. If I go to the 1-minute chart, you can see the reaction right off 39.70 today. Look at that little push right off 39.70. So this is definitely the level to watch here today. If you break that, expect the downside to come in. All right, the Dow. Dow was a nice downside yesterday. Very clear rejection level, right? Why do I say heavy? It's because it's the 200 SMA and it's the daily chart downtrend. So it's heavy. It's a heavy area. It's a lot of sellers stacked up. Okay, so the Dow, you had this previous high that was rejected. So we were talking about that yesterday, right? Previous high that was rejected around the 34,250. That was a big level to watch. That was a previous August high, right? That's the August high before the Dow found its next leg lower, right? So you had this downtrend on the Dow, and it found its next leg lower here around 34,250. That is exactly where you just rejected again here yesterday. So if I go to the 15-minute chart, you can see we pushed into that 34,250, started to reject it, got a little heavy up here, and moved to the downside. Now, what I would watch today on the Dow is some of these previous retest levels. So you have something around here. This is around your 33.8, right? These are some previous highs at 33.8. You guys can see right in this general area, 33,800. You have a previous high, and you have support that came in at that exact level. So that is very clear, right? That's a little bit of a break and retest. If this previous rejection point turns into a demand here on the Dow, then there is a possibility of another push to the upside. If we break 33.8, then I would expect your next move down to these lows, probably around this 33.5, 33.6. And if you break that, I would expect probably you come down to the channels, the lower channel here around this 33,350. So, and that's also the 20 SMA in there. So for the Dow, the first level I'd watch is this 33.8. This is some previous rejection points. You break that, look for the next level. That's at the lows of this channel right here, the double bottom around 33.6. You break that, I would say you look for the lows of this larger channel around 33,350. Okay? So that's what I'm watching on the Dow. You guys can see right here, in the short term, you are trying to hold on to this previous rejection point. Previous rejection point is trying to turn into support here around 33.8. You guys can see right here, right? Previous rejection into support. So if you break that 33.8, I think you can get slippery down here, but this could be a level that the Dow tries to hold. So watch out for that. Robert, thank you, man. $9.99. I appreciate you, Robert. All right. And then finally, the Russell. The Russell's at our 1840 level. Yeah, it's still there. The Russell's just sitting at our 1840 level here. So keep an eye on that 1840. You got the 20 SMA, the 100 SMA sitting right here at that 1840. And then you got that 200 SMA rejecting up around 1870. You're in a 30-point range on the Russell. If you break this whole 1840 area, you don't have much support down below. So watch that Russell 1840. All right, guys, so to just recap real quick, NASDAQ, ES, Dow are all very sideways. We have a channel to be watching out for, 11,530 to the downside on the NASDAQ. You have the short-term 3970 on the ES, the longer-term channel down at 3930. And then on the Dow, I would watch 33,800. If you break 33,800, look for 33.6. Okay? That's what I would watch. All right, guys, let's continue. Hopefully that helps. If you want to get these charts, these futures charts on a daily basis for free, it says free technicals down below. You can check that out. All right, Tesla. So Tesla has had this 4-hour downtrend for some time. You guys can see right here. We had this 4-hour downtrend that was in place for just about a month, a little bit less than a month. You guys can see we had this downtrend into that 167 area. We pushed higher off of it, but you're starting to see a pretty clear rejection level come in, and that is right here at 188.50. You guys can see we pushed into 188.50 on Friday of last week. We rejected it. We pushed into 188.50 yesterday, the exact level. We rejected it. We're pushing back in towards that 188.50 again in the pre-market, and we're starting to get a little bit of a rejection once again. Now, one thing I will say is that yesterday, Tesla was clearly an outperforming stock. So here's the morning in Tesla. You can see very strong until that 188.50. And look how perfect that rejection was. It was literally right at 188.50, which was the exact high. If I go to the 5-minute chart, which was the exact high of the previous week high, which was Friday. 188.50 188.50, the exact level. So very easy, right? If Tesla is below 188.50, you got to be careful on the long side because this could be another rejection point. If Tesla is above 188.50, if 188.50 starts to do something like this, where you start to hold above it, then I would consider that to be bullish. So I would watch 188.50 on Tesla. If you were trading it, I would look for either a break and retest to the upside, or I would look for any type of potential rejection here, again, off this key level. Previous rejection, downside, previous rejection, downside intraday yesterday. You're starting to get close to it again, and there is potential for a rejection up here. The only thing I'll say, right, is that Tesla could do things of its own, right? Yesterday, Tesla was hard to trade because it was pushing straight up while the market was pretty much flat to slightly down. So it's hard to sometimes trade Tesla with the market, because sometimes it'll just do its own thing. Maybe the NASDAQ's breaking down, but Tesla's sort of staying sideways or starting to creep higher. So that's sometimes difficult when that happens, so just be careful of that. But if we get above the 188.50, then I think you have some room up to the 200s, right? That would be my next watch, up towards the 200s. If you reject 188.50, I would watch this back down into the 170s, okay? But 188.50, that is the level that you have to be watching. Apple. So Apple is attempting for dear life to hold on to this 144 area, right? Dear life. And you can see right here, this was a previous low, and it is trying its best to hold on to it again here. I think this is very important, guys, for the market as a whole. Apple is one of the largest parts, if not the largest part of the, I think it's the largest part of the NASDAQ. Let me make sure of that. NASDAQ 100. Let's see. What's the top NASDAQ 100? I think Apple is the largest. So you got Apple being a huge part of that. Yeah, Apple is the biggest part of the NASDAQ. It's also the biggest part of the S&P. And it is so biggest part of the S&P and biggest part of the NASDAQ, right? So here it is. So you can see S&P 500, Apple, largest weighting, 6.59%. You got Microsoft, Amazon, Alphabet, Berkshire. Apple's number one. Now, if we go to the NASDAQ, Apple, number one, 13% rating. So you guys should know, right? If Apple is the heaviest weighted in the S&P and in Apple, then if this breaks down, that is going to drag the market lower. So you have to be watching what Apple is doing, right? Apple is very important here. So you can see support here around 144. It tried to hold again. If Apple starts to break yesterday's lows, if Apple starts to weaken today, right, you got to be on watch for that market to start to slip. If Apple starts to drive this market lower due to the concerns over in China, then be cautious on the market. It could cause a little bit of a sell-off. So 143.38 was yesterday's lows. I would just sort of keep an eye on if it starts to break the previous day lows. If Apple gets in a trend of making new lows every day and starting to reject the previous highs, then you know you're starting to break down, right? If you start seeing a low form, then the next day you make a new low, and when you try to push, you reject that previous low, and you make another low, right? If you start seeing this form on Apple, watch out, because that could trigger a little bit of a downside move on the market. So 144 would be where I'd watch on Apple. I think that's a very important thing to be watching right now. Shopify. So yesterday we got that big push on Shopify off of the Black Friday sales, right? And the level we were watching yesterday was 38.75, and this was right here around 38.75. We were watching this level to see if Shopify could hold above that level. Now you can see yesterday we pushed higher into 40, and we just got the classic 40 rejection, right? Like every other time, Shopify did the classic 40 area rejection, which is very common for Shopify. So didn't really like the long side on Shopify yesterday, as you guys heard me in the live stream. I was more interested in the short side. So if I go to the 1 minute chart, I'll show you where we went short on Shopify. It was not as perfect as I would have liked. I sort of wanted a break and retest of 38.75, but we got more of a retest around this 38.60, 38.70, but we went short right here on Shopify. Short around this 38.60. We had a little bit of a push, and then this rejection here around 38.60. Caught a piece here, so that was a nice trade. I got out really early. I got out on this, like the start of this downside candle here. I didn't really hold on to it. I didn't really feel like holding on to Shopify is a pretty volatile stock. So we got that flush under the pre-market lows, gave back some of that push in the morning. So a nice little trade there. Now today, you can see it's coming back pretty nicely, right? It's starting to retain that 38.75 now. So could yesterday's momentum still be in Shopify, right? Is it still holding on? I would watch it. If there is any type of market strength today, I would look to see if Shopify can go again. Maybe it needed an initial pullback and give back some of that big upside, but maybe this tries to push again towards that 40. I would just be very cautious as you approach the 40 level. And the reason for that is because when we zoom out here and we look at Shopify over the last 6 months, right, what has Shopify done every single time that it's tapped this 40 area? Rejection, 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 again, 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 and could it do it again? Very well could. So just be careful there on Shop. It is started holding up here. If there's more strength, see if it can push into that 40. Home Depot, very clean. Congrats, guys, if you caught that downside. This was the reason I got out of my swing trade. So basically my swing trade idea from the very beginning was a push into 330, and it pretty much worked out just as planned. So I'll see if I have I don't know if I want to waste your time here, but that 330 level was always sort of the level on watch to see if we can get a push into that previous rejection point. I'm not going to search through the ages and ages of technical charts that I have here. But you guys can see we had a previous rejection here around 330, and we pushed right into it, a very nice rejection point. If the Dow loses strength, let's say we find a day where the Dow is down, right? We find weakness on the Dow, we find weakness on the market. Let's say that big push in the Dow starts to give up, right? If this Dow Jones starts to give up a little bit after being up a lot, right? The Dow has outperformed tremendously. If you start to see any type of Dow weakness, any cracks in the foundation on the Dow, I would be watching Home Depot for shorts. I think this is a great area for potential shorts at this previous rejection point. There could be some strength still on Home Depot, right? Because it has been a strong name. The only thing I would watch out for if you do go short off this 330 is the possibility of a support hold around this 316, right? This is a break and retest potential around 316.50. So that would be my only concern. You either look to see if there's Dow weakness, if the Dow starts to crack and Home Depot starts to maybe break this level around 316, maybe you can play it down to that 303 again off that double top rejection of 330. Or let's say the Dow finds strength again and Home Depot is just a very nice, right, break and retest of this 316. And let's say there's another hold here. Then maybe you can set yourself up for another trade to the upside. All right. So I think both ways you can look at it. Both ways you can see, the setup. Hey, I'll check it out. Sorry, man. 316.50, rejection, rejection, rejection. You guys can see right here. Look for either this level to turn into support as on a retest, or for us to potentially continue lower off of the 330 rejection. Okay. Nvidia. So the main thing I'm watching on Nvidia here, guys, is just this long-term uptrend. Or I guess you could say midterm to short-term. Depends on how you like to look at these things. But this is about a month old. It's actually more than a month. It's about a month and a half. So for about a month and a half, Nvidia has been in this very distinct uptrend. Since the lows of around 108, we have sort of just grinded higher, which is actually quite impressive for Nvidia, in my humble opinion. So very nice uptrend on Nvidia over the last month and a half. You have pulled back a little bit, but you held here at the 100 SMA. You pushed off of it again. You rejected yesterday a little bit, but really light volume. You can't see that. Very light volume on the pullback. So I'm not really too interested in the shorts just yet on Nvidia. I don't think this is really breaking this uptrend as of now. Once we break the uptrend, then I would say, shorts could start to pile in. But for now, this uptrend looks pretty solid, and the level I would watch is 170. 170 is the very clear level that needs to break, right? You have a previous low, a previous low, a previous low. You got to break above 170. If you can't get above 170, I wouldn't really look for the upside. I would look personally for this trade more than anything. I like this trade more than anything else. I think that gives you an actual trade setup rather than trying to just buy it into 170. I'd rather look for the 170 to break, look for us to hold the 170, and then look to trade it maybe back into the 190s. That would be my trade setup that I like, more than just buying it here and hoping for that push again. So either way, Nvidia, I just want to point it out. It's a nice setup. I don't really see the bear flag yet. Something that has a bear flag is like Enphase. This is a little bit more distinct to me. Actually, I'm trying to think what I've seen a big bear flag on. What do I see a big bear flag on? I'm going through the memory files here. Bear flag, I like to see very consistent, tops. Very consistent upside, like rejections, flat tops. I don't really see it there yet on Nvidia. I see more of just a little, of an uptrend that's still making higher lows. And I guess you could say that this is potentially the top, but a bear flag, I like to see a flat top and an increasing higher low. Like this is what I like to see on a bear flag, right? Something like this. That's your bear flag right there, guys. And then that. Right? That is exactly what I like. That's the bear flag to me. Right? That flat top, that triple top that starts to step in, something like that. And then you get your crack below, just like that. So this is sort of just you don't have that flat top yet. I don't think that's as distinct as you'd like for that bear flag setup. I need to see something a little bit more like that. All right. So to me, I would just watch this uptrend on Nvidia. If you do crack the uptrend, then you could probably start to step in short. I would watch the 170 level above as a rejection point. AMD. So AMD is interesting. AMD likes to find these like very distinct tops. It's done it a lot in the past. So even back here, right? You guys remember back here? This was back in August. AMD would just like flatten out here around this 69 level. We just continue to reject. And then now it's a little bit higher. You guys can see right here. It's right around this 77. So AMD 77. You have that clean rejection there. You have that clean rejection there. That's also the 100 SMA. So watch out for that. That is a very distinct rejection at 77 and the 100 SMA. So watch for that rejection. And then you have a very distinct channel low around 72. So I would personally continue to trade this channel until it bites you. Right? There's nothing wrong with taking a losing trade. So if AMD is telling me that there's buys off 72 and sells off 77, I will continue to do this until I try to buy it off 72 and it does that, right? I'll continue to do it until this happens. And I'll just take my loss here. I'll walk away and I'll accept that, it didn't work, right? It didn't work. So I'm definitely going to be watching AMD for longs here today off this 72 area. That's not, not something I'm scared to look for. All right, I have a good reason for it. I know that demand steps in around this 72, 73. If the market finds any type of strength today, then I'll look to play this back up towards the 76, 77. And if it gets back to 76, 77, I'll look to then short it. And I'll continue to do that until I'm wrong. So watch that. Where is the live stream link? You are in the live stream. Okay, just want to let you know you are. If you're not sure where you are, this is a live stream, and this is where you are. Okay, the king, you are in the live stream. You don't need to yell. And that is, just want to make sure you're aware of where you are. You are in the live stream. Where am I? Where am I? All right, AMD 72 to 77. Enphase. So, Enphase 225. Watch out for that. 225. You guys can see right here. What year is it? You guys. Oh man. So 325. You guys can see here on Enphase, rejections. All these rejections appear at 325, right? So I like this level to play short off of. Right? That's why I am short. Shout out to Naples, Florida. New to option trading. Love to meet you. Well, if you see me around, say hi. So 325, guys, you can see I would watch that level there, right? That's very clear. And I like that for a potential short, right? I like that for a potential short. I'm watching sort of this uptrend that's formed, a little bit of a wedge. And you're starting to get that top starting to set in here around that 325. So I might be early to this, right? I could definitely be early to this. It could still, I think, maybe potentially break out of this little uptrend that it's been holding. It could break out of this little uptrend here. Maybe it breaks down below it. It could sort of, do something like this where it holds this trend, pushes up, maybe breaks out, and then starts to mess around with me up at these levels. But I'm on the side of this continuing to reject. I've seen a lot of rejections up here, a rejection here, a rejection here, all these rejections here. Yeah, I like this for a potential play to the downside. So watch out for that. If King, if you were talking about the Discord, if you're in the Discord chat, go to join voice chat. Okay. If you're in the Discord chat and you don't know where the live trading is, join voice chat. We'll explain it all. Okay. It has a video on how to join it. It has all the frequently asked questions. All right. It's all there. Just got to read some of the channels. Got to get yourself familiar with the Discord. All right. So, yeah, I'm short, guys. Basically, let me just say that. I'm short Enphase. That's what I'm doing. I'm short some January puts, and I'm looking for it to reject this, break this flag, and start to break down. Okay? Simply put, that's what I'm doing. All right. Netflix. Short term, I like Enphase to, if it does start to reject, I like Enphase back at this 270 area, right around here. These channel lows, all in this general area. I like Enphase back to this area here, right there, right? 270. I'm just know if you're here, if you're new here, I'm a little bit edgy sometimes, man, but that's who I am. So I am professional. I do help, but sometimes I have a little bit of fun. All right. Enphase 270. That's where I'd look for it to come back to if you reject this 325. Okay. Netflix. King, you just gotta, it's you just gotta ask, hey Desi, where's the voice chat in the Discord, right? Rather than typing all caps and 20 question marks, where's the voice chat, right? You gotta come across a little bit professional. All right, Netflix, 277. That's what I'm watching here on Netflix. So you guys can see right here, 277. Sorry, King, if I upset you, but my bad. 277, that's what I'd watch here on Netflix. Previous support here. You have some previous rejections here. I would watch this area. If I go to the 4-hour chart, if this damn TOS would work for me, you guys can see right here, you have a previous rejections right there. Previous rejections. Rejection. You have a previous support here at 277, and then you have to watch this 277 again. So if there is any type of upside momentum on Netflix, I want to see whether you hold 277 and you try to push through it, right? That's what I'm going to be watching on Netflix. If there is any type of support at 277, I would watch to see the rejections here at 277 turn into support, which it already has, right back here. It's already turned into support there. I want to see, this is getting very tight. Is there a move either above 277 in the downtrend, or do we break down below it? But I think 277 is the level to watch. Okay, on Netflix. I think Netflix should have another move in it, right? Netflix is a big mover. It's been silent here for a little bit, for about 2 weeks, 3 weeks. There's going to be something here, either a breakdown of 277 or a break of this flag, in my opinion. So I'm going to be watching Netflix the next few weeks. All right, let's go over your tickers. Let's go over the tickers that you guys want to look at. And what do we got today? We got AVGO, NCLH, Coin, CrowdStrike, WDay, and NEO. I know a lot of these are earnings, so we're going to be going real quick through those because I cannot predict the future, unfortunately. I wish I could. AVGO has earnings coming up. It's 200 SMA. I would watch that 200 SMA. That looks pretty heavy up there, 200 SMA. Yeah, I'd watch the 200 for rejections here. Besides that, this is sort of I don't really like any of this. This is a sort of a weird area here on AVGO. I mean, the best I could do is tell you to watch the 200. Besides that, I don't want to just make something up. I don't really see anything too distinct here. I would just watch the 200. Not a very clean chart there. Hard to read. NCLH, yeah, you can see clearly on Norwegian, it wants to try to hold this 1580. But again, guys, this is Norwegian Cruise Line, so it's not the best of stocks. So, I mean, I would be very uninterested in Norwegian Cruise Lines. Cruise lines have given absolutely no return since COVID. It is completely sideways. They're probably the worst stock on the market are cruise lines right now. So, yeah, I don't really like anything about Norwegian Cruise Lines, but look to see if it holds that 1580, 16 level. Coinbase, I actually was going to post this in the chat, and I never did. I should have, because it looked like it worked out very nicely. And it is a beautiful break and retest to the downside. So you guys can see right here, support, rejection, break, and retest to the downside on Coinbase, break of a previous support, retest of a previous support, rejection of a previous support, and I would look for continued downside there. Okay? Break and retest. CrowdStrike has earnings. Not going to go over it. It's, I have no idea what's going to happen here. Maybe it goes up. Maybe it goes down. I just can't. I can't. WDay has earnings. Neo's completely dead. I don't see anything here. I mean, if you just want to buy this and hope that one day it comes back, I don't see anything. Neo's just dying. It's nothing going to happen there. I'll go FedEx and Meta, and then we'll jump out of here. So FedEx, where's the... Oh, I'm on GDX. What the hell? FedEx. Yeah, here we go. I was like, where's the gap? Did the gap disappear? FedEx looks to be struggling up here around this 180. All right, this 180. Kasim, I got Amazon in the Desi TA section today if you want to check it out. 180 looks a little tough here. 180 looks a little tough here. Now, we do have the gap fill, but I think you're going to have to break 180 for any chance of continuation. So you need to get over 180. You're in a channel, right? You're in a channel between 180 and 165. What happens inside this channel is, you have a better guess than me, probably. But, yeah, I would look to see a break over 180 for any more upside. Finally, Meta. Meta, watch this 108.30 area. If Meta breaks this 108.30 area, watch for the downside. You have a previous low here. You have a previous low here from yesterday. If you break that, there is little to no support to the downside. So watch 108.30 and then watch this longer-term downtrend. All right, guys. Once again, thank you for being here. I hope everyone enjoys the stream. I apologize for King. I apologize to you for getting a little bit out of hand, but just all caps sort of gets me going a little bit. I hope you understand that it's all out of love. I hope you guys enjoy the stream. If you guys have any questions, Make sure to let me know, Raul. Yeah. What else? That's it. Go Giants. The Rangers suck this year. I mean, they don't suck, but they're having a tough time. Thank you guys for the donations. Thank you guys for joining the streams. Thank you for the subscriptions to the stream, for supporting the channel. That's always very much appreciated. If you guys could help me get to 500 likes today, that would be fantastic. That would be a nice little daily goal. Help the stream grow. Help more people get in here. Have a great day. Be smart out there. Be careful of the chop. Tomorrow is the big day. So if you don't like anything, then don't touch it. Right? Let's wait for tomorrow. All right? Let's wait for tomorrow. If we don't get anything today, let's wait for tomorrow. Let's wait for more volatility and that news to come out. Okay? All right, guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace out. And have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.
Yeah.